if able, for the national anthem of Canada.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that. Two Canadians on top of the podium in the women's 200 IM. Summer McIntosh with her second gold medal already in 2 days at these World Championships, and joined by teammate Mary-Sophie Harvey. Summer now the most decorated World Aquatics swimmer in Canadian history. Devin, we're here to break it all down. Of course, myself, Brittany, MacLean, Campbell, and Devin Heroux, proud to represent your team covering these World Championships. Devin, that women's 200 IM was a great way to end off the night.
Nothing like a Canadian double-double, Britt, on day 2 of the World Aquatics Championships. And you know what I love? The highlight for me here at the pool tonight, that beautiful moment on the podium. I don't know if the cameras were on the swimmers, Summer McIntosh and Mary-Sophie Harvey, at the beginning of the anthem, but Summer immediately waved Mary-Sophie over to the top of the podium. There was sort of this moment of like, can I do this? Absolutely you can. Mary-Sophie joined Summer on the top of the podium. They were laughing. They were having a great time. Of course, you saw Greg, Jill, and Brooke McIntosh in the crowd here. Just another exceptional night. Yes, Summer wins gold, but I think, Britt, the feeling around here is Mary-Sophie Harvey finally winning that long course medal she so badly wanted. So all the vibes here at the pool are just great.
I love hearing it, Devin, and I trust that you're always keeping the vibes high in the mix zone, but I couldn't agree more. I think that was the highlight for me as well, when Summer embraced with her teammate. We often see Summer so poised and so business throughout meets like this, and Summer normally, actually, just because we're used to seeing her on top of the podium, we start knowing her habits, let's just say, but Summer doesn't normally sing the anthem, and today she sang it loud and proud with her teammate standing next to her. For a while, they had one English version, one French going. It was so fun, and it was amazing to watch. So why don't we start by hearing what Summer had to say with you in the mix zone before we move any further.
Feels good. I mean, that gave me a lot of confidence. Doing that double was a lot of fun, and I really felt, honestly, probably better in the semi-final of the 200 than I did tonight. So I think that teaches me a lot about my preparation going into races. You know, warming up closer to my race probably is better. But definitely something that in future Olympics and future World Championships, I want to do more doubles like that. And it's kind of like my second meet starts. I mean, I have a day off tomorrow, and then I kind of got 3 more races, 3 big events to go. So yeah, kind of trying to split them up into 2.
So you have 10. Mary-Sophie gets her first, and you wave her over for the anthem. Tell us about that moment.
Oh, that was so special. Definitely the highlight for me tonight was Mary getting on the podium. That's absolutely incredible. And I didn't even notice till I was out right before my interview. I was like, oh my gosh, where is she? I need to go find her. And then I found her behind. I gave her a big hug. And she's worked so hard for this, and to see her get the result, I mean, I think she's over the moon about it, and she deserves it. So, and to share that moment for Team Canada was amazing.
Okay, last one. We're talking about the drive for 5. I don't have to tell you about that, but tell me about the nails. Show them off.
In France, I got my nails done, and I wanted to do 5 gold just for a little bit of bling, and I think it goes well with the theme of this meet. So we got 1 hand down, we got 3 more to go, so we'll have to see about that.
All right, keep it going. Well done, Summer.
Thank you.
Dev, I'm so grateful you caught that moment about the nails, because that was one of my questions in Paris. There were so many conversations about everybody and their pre-race nails, getting their nails done. And then they zoomed in right before the race to Summer, kind of like, you know, shaking out her arms. And I noticed right away that she was alternating gold nails, and I was doing the math, and I'm like, oh my goodness, she's going to have 5 golds, isn't she? Tell me about your reaction when she told you that news.
Well, my jaw hit the floor. And it was so nice, Britt. To see her so relaxed, like what a different demeanor from Summer here tonight. Yes, she was disappointed with her time, but yet to just have the awareness of a teammate's big moment and have that be the highlight of her night when she wins a gold medal, I think perfectly exemplifies who Summer McIntosh is. And that was just a joyful interview. I was just watching her being like, wow, Summer, like you are really soaking this up. And then I couldn't miss the nails. They were shiny. Of course I saw them, Britt. And so, like she said, 1 hand down, 3 more golds to go. She has a day off tomorrow, so it's about as good as you could imagine. And I think you and I are about to get in our predictions. And before you do that, I just want to say you and I were feeling really good when we did those. So
we're already protecting ourselves.
Yeah,
So yes, I do have an envelope.
Yeah.
Devin, anything you want to defend yourself with before I open this envelope?
Yeah, I mean, we were still riding the wave of the trials and 3 world records in 5 days. That's how I want to defend myself. So just do it.
Okay,
Just do it.
I will say, okay, I know, I remember, not my exact time, but I do remember for this one, I didn't put a world record. And I know we put a lot of world records in here. So I think I might be able to get a little closer than you. Okay, Devin Heroux, the blue. And again,
I kind of want to slink off camera for this.
Okay, Devin's 200 IM prediction was a 2:05.63. Okay.
Okay. Actually,
you were
that isn't
only
as
about
bad
a
as
second.
I thought.
Only about a second off. And mine was a 2:05.96. So her world record time, important to note, is a 2:05.70. Okay, one race analysis piece that I did want to bring into context here, because it did appear that her breaststroke was the struggle leg, let's call it, just because Alex Walsh is so fast in the breaststroke. But it was actually her backstroke that was the biggest difference. So her backstroke split when she set the world record was a 30.80. And then today's backstroke split was a 31.76. But then you look at the butterfly, and she was out 0.4 of a second under world record pace just on the fly alone. And she spoke with you after, Devin, saying that she thinks there's some room for improvement when it comes to her warm-up time, how refreshed she wants to feel, kind of that zip in her stroke. She almost felt better in the semifinal than she did in the final. And I actually noticed that immediately in that semifinal last night. I was like, oh my God, we're going to see potentially a world record tomorrow, because she looked so smooth and then she completely shut it down on the final 50 of freestyle. But it really did look a little bit more forced tonight. And I think that's exactly what Summer is, still only 18 years old. She's learning, she's growing. She's also, one piece of context, I'm still defending us, I get it. And we are off in our predictions. But one piece of context we're still figuring out. Her and Fred have only been working together for less than 6 months, right? And when you're working with a new coach, your taper is a piece of the puzzle that you aren't yet familiar with. And so what I do want to bring kind of awareness to our audience is that things really zipped at trials. Don't get me wrong. She had paced herself really well with coming down from altitude, and they zipped. And obviously something was working. She was riding a wave. But she's also still testing the waters with Fred on, okay, exactly where in our program do we peak? Exactly where do we give ourselves a little extra rest? Mm-hmm. I like the way she worded it to you, Dev, where she said, I'm almost starting meet number 2. She has a day off tomorrow, and I have a feeling we'll see kind of like a whole new tapered Summer come 2 days from now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is, Britt, is we're so nitpicky, right? It's a gold medal performance, and this is where we're at now. I always like to make sure we provide that context. But yeah, to your point about last night, sometimes, you know, when I interview athletes and they have to go into these immediate sort of situations, you're sort of out of your mind and into your body. And I think that's exactly what happened last night. She didn't have a lot of time to think about things, and it seemed really fluid. She had a whole day to think about this final here tonight. And you know, sometimes when you're pushing a little bit harder, that's when the stroke isn't as smooth as you would like it to be. So I don't know. But listen, it's a gold medal performance.
It is.
Clean the slate. Yeah. Have a day off. Yeah. 3 more to go.
Yeah, and the only reason we're also still, you know, discussing the time is because she visibly said she expected better, she wanted better. So we're joined in the summer camp of always kind of rooting for. It's a perfective level that she's already kind of sustaining right now, but I also think that when you're an athlete, it's natural to look for personal bests, and it happens to be when personal bests are the world records, your standards are just at a whole nother world. But again, we do want to highlight Mary-Sophie Harvey's incredible performance tonight, just off her personal best time that she set in the trials a little bit ago. And Devin, I'm dying to know what she said to you in the mix zone. I know she's probably thrilled with this, so let's take it away with that.
I mean, especially this year has been really challenging in every possible ways, and I think I knew I had a chance tonight, and I just needed to execute a race that I've done before, and it was just I know my strength, and it was just like sticking to my strength and touching the wall as fast as I could. And I'm really happy tonight that I can come away with a bronze medal. I didn't really care about the time, honestly. I just wanted to get a medal for Canada and step on a podium with Summer again. I think it's something really special. I know for World Stroke Course, my first race was she won gold, I came third, and same thing here. So I think it's quite exciting for the rest of the meet.
It was a beautiful moment when she waved you onto the top of the podium for the anthem, and it seemed like you two were having a blast.
Yeah, I think we're pushing each other to step up for Canada and get more medals, and I think it's really exciting. It's really inspiring for me to be there and compete with her, and I think it's going to be a great week.
Oh, every time she gets me with her emotion, her poise, her excitement, and her appreciation for the moment, because Mary-Sophie Harvey truly has been one of those athletes for a decade that has been there, but not quite been able to break through. So she's officially broken through. She's an individual medalist at the World Championships. Special shout out to Yuzadi there, finishing fourth, just a few 100ths shy of the podium. We're going to be talking about that 12-year-old for quite some time. Devin, one storyline I'm still tracking is the American team, so we're going to get to it shortly. But first, another Canadian highlight. We had two women qualify through to the 100 back final, coming through the semifinals. Taylor Ruck was in the first semi, and she looked really strong. She got her hand on the wall second, and we're talking about having confident swims. We're talking about strategically executing races the way that you plan to with your coaches and in training. But Taylor was very smart here. You can see her pushing to the final touch, and as you can see, the field was only separated by hundredths of a second. So for her to get her hand on the wall second in that semifinal sets her up really nicely to qualify through. And then Kylie Moss out in lane number 2, swimming with two of the best 100 backstrokers in history. We saw Smith and McEwen really have control of that second semifinal, but Moss had her hand on the wall third. I am really looking forward to that final tomorrow night. Let's tee it up. Devin, was there any energy from them coming through the mix zone after the race?
They were all business, and you love to see it. Kylie Moss, Britt, you and I have talked about it for so long. She is so consistent. She is such a gamer. 9 long course world championship medals, tied with Penny, of course. Summer now in the lead with 10. But Kylie, I love what she has told me over the last number of years at meets about building into a meet. She took about a second, I believe, off of the morning swim, and she just seems to elevate. And there's something to be said about that veteran presence at a world championship when you know you have to elevate. So you work your way into that morning swim, then in a night semifinal, you elevate it a little bit more. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be the least bit surprised, Britt, if Kylie Moss finds her way on a podium at a world championship again, this one in the 100-meter backstroke. She's talked so much about swimming for herself, swimming free, loving it. I asked her about that. She said, and Britt, you'll know this, she said, I'm still trying to swim for me, and I'm still trying to enjoy this, but she gets here and she wants it so bad. So Taylor, Kylie, through to the final. Just a really great night overall for these two. 5th fastest for Taylor, 3rd fastest for Kylie. Buckle up for that final.
Yeah, and that means they'll be beside each other, which is always so fun. And after that Mary-Sophie Harvey Summer moment, you have to think that that gives them a little extra zip in their step to know that they're going to get to compete together in the big final. That'll be happening starting at 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning for us, tomorrow night for you. Dev, before we let you get back to bed and rest up for tomorrow, I do want to quickly discuss a little bit about this American team, and Gretchen Walsh seemed to turn a corner for them. They've struggled visibly on day number 1, still having some misses on day number 2. There was a few of their, for example, backstrokers on the men's side did not qualify through to the semi. So there were some clear disappointments, but Gretchen Walsh, her 2nd fastest time ever, just 1/10 of a second off her world record mark in the 100 butterfly. She's got to feel pretty good about that swim, and it does seem like the American team are starting to turn a new leaf.
Yeah, Britt, and we've been continually working to try and get details on the scope of the sickness, what it actually was. I've heard everything from norovirus to food poisoning. Food poisoning, I'll just say, wouldn't make all that much sense to me, because this seems like it has spread, unless of course, everybody was eating the same thing, but of course, somebody like Katie Ledecky and Gretchen Walsh would have been eating the same thing. So it sounds like this spread through the American camp, and maybe now, a few days later, people are starting to regain some of their health. You want that. You hope that for the Americans. You don't want to see this at a world championship. I can tell you, when I go back into the media room, it's all any of the national and international reporters are talking about is this sickness, trying to get details on it, because you still saw it plague some of the morning swims and whatnot. But a swim like Gretchen Walsh, like you said, can turn things around. You know, the Americans are probably getting rested, getting a lot of fluids, and let's just hope for all of swimming that they are recovering, and that for the last half of the World Championships, they are all at full health.
Yeah, you put it perfectly, Devin. That's all I was going to say, is truly hoping that we can turn, not only are they feeling better, really hoping for health across their team, but also just for the sake of the competition. We do really hope that there's the storyline has shifted, and there's some really big performances for the Americans. Also, Kate Douglas with a personal best time in the 100 breaststroke. So the backstrokers look very strong. They've got 2 women's backstrokers through to the final tomorrow. So like I said, we're turning a new leaf on to bigger and better things on day number 3. And speaking of day number 3, more Canadian action. Those 2 women in the final of the women's 100 backstroke. We have Kylie Masse and we have Taylor Ruck. That's going to be exceptional. And if you missed Elia Heroux a little bit in the 50 fly final, well, do not fret. You're going to get to see him take on the 200 butterfly tomorrow. That prelim will happen for us later tonight. And then hopefully Devin and I will be chatting about his semifinal tomorrow morning. And we're also going to get to see Mary-Sophie Harvey back in the pool for the women's 200 freestyle. So tons of action left to come. Devin, cannot wait to break it all down with you tomorrow morning. And everyone, make sure you're tuning in throughout the coverage. Thanks for your time.